Just as the long and fast trains that speed through the sleepy West Texas town of Sweetwater, a nationwide controversy was stirred up.
My name is Melanie Hicks. Up until Friday at 4 p.m., I was the executive director of the Pioneer City County Museum in Sweetwater, Texas.
But it goes further than just one West Texas woman in a local museum.
I felt alone and like nobody heard me.
A frustrated single mom, unable to obtain basic health care for her child and herself, and also facing an unexpected monthly price hike for her internet access, lashed out on Facebook. She wrote, "I hope every one of you pieces of blank that votes Republican dies today."
I had posted this disgusting thing. Get off the phone with Suddenlink. And I was like, and I went to delete it. And I saw these comments on it. I went to delete it. I deleted it. I was like, guys, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm super frustrated. I didn't mean that.
Hicks was forced to resign from a job she basically built for herself. The Texas A&M grad tirelessly worked for over 7.5 years through community service and development of the museum.
They don't think that all Republicans should die. I don't think that all Republicans should die. But what they do think is that people should be allowed the grace and the mercy to make a mistake. Because we all have made mistakes and no one mistake is worse than the other. Even though there was some Judas that threw me to the Romans, none of my family, none of my community picked up the first stone.
Speaking of Judas, Melanie soon discovered that not all Facebook friends are her real friends.
The post was private, and that is one thing I noticed when this kind of blew up. A lot of people were saying, oh, she's locked her page down now. You can't see anything she's posted. And I guess she got scared. And my page has always been like that. I didn't actually change any of the settings on my page. Apparently, it was one person on my friend list. They sent it as a group message to everyone. And that group message, a few of those people started to share it. And one particular political activist in the community, I believe they're 16 or 18 years old, which I love that they're that involved in politics. I love that young people are that passionate, but they're the ones that send it out to the world.
When screenshots of her posts were published in places all over the country, the reaction was fierce.
I've gotten lots of ugly comments, and I understand it. They are in a moment of fear and anger and frustration, and I'm sure they don't feel heard. But then there's threats that are, I hunt people like you with a bow at night, pictures of guns and saying, watch your back, I'm coming for you, and they live very close.
But now, those threatening Hicks may find themselves in legal trouble. Sweetwater is the county seat of Nolan County, and the sheriff there isn't amused.
My name is David Warren, and I'm the current sheriff of Nolan County. I've been sheriff for a little over 11 years and just won the Republican primary to have another 4-year term. Well, there's 2 statutes in particular out of the Texas Penal Code that come into play, terroristic threat and harassment. For example, the threats that have been made have caused the Sweetwater Police Department and other law enforcement agencies, Texas Department of Public Safety, to have to expend resources to look into those threats. And so that in and of itself, even if no injury ever occurs to the intended victim, that alone can be an offense.
Having just won the Republican nomination to run for re-election in November, the content of the post by Melanie Hicks certainly struck a chord with Sheriff David Warren.
My situation's a little different in that I've known Melanie since she was 9 years old. And, I certainly don't condone the post that she made. When I first heard about it, I'm sure my reaction was similar to what most people's might have been. Shock, disgust, and then disappointment. Everybody's got to deal with this situation. It's been blown way out of proportion, in my opinion. And everybody's going to come to a crossroad where they have to make a decision to where they either choose a pathway toward forgiveness, or they can choose a road toward continue to harbor hatred. And I think at this point, several days after the incident, it's time to put this behind us and get back to living our lives and let her get back to living hers.
The residents of this West Texas town, like Melanie Hicks and Sheriff David Warren, are hoping that this controversy blows over before another train speeds through town. Reporting from Sweetwater for San Angelo Live, I'm Joe Hyde.